Hey, Scott Jordan here for Jancast number 203 for Thursday, December 11th, 2025. So another Jancast. We're back again, and thanks for the feedback for the last episode where I kind of full transparency talked about what was happening at the ISSA trade show that we just attended and what's going to happen in the future. So thanks a lot for the views. I really appreciate that and good feedback I got as well. So before we get into today's subject for this episode, I want to kind of go back because things have kind of come around finally. Back on Jancast number 186 from March 6th of 2025, we talked about a new bilingual statement that has to be put on certain EPA products, and there's a schedule out multiple years. So the first deadline's coming up is the end of this December, and then there's subsequent ones after that. And what this entails is the requirement that EPA is now stating you have to have Spanish translations for cautions that apply to certain products. Obviously, some products are more dangerous than others, and they've kind of identified back in March that certain ones have to be taken care of right away. And I've gotten correspondence from two companies so far. First was Stepan, and the second one was Lanza, and their other name is ARXADA, Arcada, I guess is the way to pronounce it. So I've been in discussions, or we've been in discussions with Stepan. Part of the problem we have with this in general is they provide a QR code that takes you to a website that's associated with either Stepan or Lanza or whoever it happens to be. And it actually states on that website link that it's a Stepan. It refers to Stepan in the copy. And if our end users are going to be using that link, QR link, to go read Spanish cautions, they're not going to have any idea what this product is because it doesn't actually say our product name. It talks about a Stepan registration number, or at least details that would be rather difficult to get it to kind of make any sense to the end user. So what Bullen's been trying to do is get the regulatory people to agree that we can still use a QR code, which is great because there's so much copy with the current cautions that you can't duplicate that in Spanish and have it all fit on a label. So the concept is good, but we want to be able to use our own QR code, takes our customers to the link that would give them the data on our product, not a confusing one that doesn't even indicate a product that they have in their hands that they're trying to figure out on. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. The whole thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense under our current administration, who I believe the Department of Transportation is currently talking about making it a requirement that truck drivers have to be able to speak English. So now we're providing EPA disinfectant products or EPA regulated products with a means of transmitting to the end users that can't speak English Spanish directions for those cautions. Seems to be somewhat of a disconnect there. Not exactly sure, where that's coming from, but I'll report more as we kind of get going further down the road and see whether or not we can at least get it so that we can use our own QR code. So stay tuned for that. I don't think any products that we currently have registered are going to be impacted before the end of the year. So today's show, the topic of today's show is one that we've touched base on a while ago, back with John Hill in looking for Jancast number 156 from October 2023 about the use of robotics. So I'm thinking, as I put together what Jancast is going to be about this particular episode. As you know, I've used in the past AI co-host to help me with some of this stuff, but it's not as simple as just kind of plugging in, hey, give me some stuff to talk about. You have to script out the prompts to be able to generate certain things. So we generated a PDF 2-page document talking about the issues with robotics and whether or not, things we're going through, like at a car dealership. You can't get your car serviced for 2 or 3 weeks because they don't have enough mechanics to service the cars. Well, how's that going to work if we're selling hundreds of auto scrubbers and the technicians We can't get technicians to fix cars, let alone fix auto scrubbers in the field. So this show talks about what's the impact coming down the road as we kind of take dollars that are spent on maybe hours worked or training and stuff like that into robotics, thinking that's going to solve all our problems. But going forward, when that catches up and you have hundreds of robotic scrubbers out there that can't get fixed, then what exactly are we supposed to do? So my AI co-host, who's now going to come on board, is going to give you a nice rundown of all the issues involved. And again, if you want to look back on that particular show, I'll put it in the show notes. Again, it's John Hill from show number 156. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and hope you enjoy my co-host's recap of issues with robotics.
Everybody is talking about the robot revolution in commercial cleaning, right? Autonomous scrubbers, AI vacuums. I mean, it all sounds like the future is officially here. But, under all that hype, there's this one huge question that it feels like almost nobody is asking. And there it is. Seriously, think about it. We see car dealerships right now struggling to find enough mechanics for the cars we have today. So how on earth is the cleaning industry, an industry that's diving headfirst into complex robotics, going to support this massive new fleet of machines? Because they're going to break down, they're going to need software updates, and they're absolutely going to need regular service. So, this gets us to a really critical misunderstanding about automation. You see, the rise of robots, it doesn't mean the end of human work. Not at all. Instead, it's signaling a massive shift in the kind of work that needs to get done. Here's the key thing to wrap your head around. We're not eliminating jobs, we're transforming them. For every single manual task a robot takes over, a new, more technical, and often more complex task is created just to support that robot. Let's take a look at what that actually means. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the old work, pushing a scrubber, running a vacuum. But look at the other side. That's the new reality. We're talking about calibrating sensors, running software updates, and doing technical troubleshooting right there on site. We're basically trading a mop for a motherboard. And this fundamental shift, well, it leads us straight into our next big problem. This giant chasm that's opening up between the tech we're putting out there and the skills of the people we have right now. Just let that number sink in. We're not talking about a couple of pilot programs. We're talking thousands of new, complex, autonomous machines hitting the floor every single year. And every one of them is basically a ticking clock just waiting for its first maintenance call. Wow. Okay, this chart really puts it all into perspective. I mean, look at this. Compared to established fields like automotive or HVAC, the cleaning industry has this tiny fraction of trained equipment technicians. And yet, this is the very industry that's rushing into automation. You can literally see the crisis brewing right here in these bars. All right, so with a problem this big, what's the solution? Well, it's not really a what, it's a who. It's the rise of a brand new type of professional, someone who is purpose-built for this new era.
So let's put a name on it, the robotic cleaning technician. Now, this isn't just a mechanic, and it's not just an IT guy. They're a hybrid, a pro who gets both the mechanical drive systems and the software diagnostics. They need to be able to troubleshoot a faulty sensor just as easily as they can manage the fleet's cloud-based software.
And here's the kicker, the simple economics of it. Because this skill set is so new, so specific, and it's going to be in such high demand, these technicians are going to be commanding some serious premium wages. This isn't just another job, it's a high-value career path opening up. The need for this new workforce isn't just a problem for the companies using the robots. It's actually forcing the equipment manufacturers themselves to completely rethink their entire business model. They really have no choice but to evolve.
And you can kind of see how this whole service model is going to play out over time. It'll probably start with the manufacturers, the OEMs, building their own in-house service teams. Then they'll get smarter, using remote diagnostics to fix problems from miles away. The next big jump? Predictive maintenance, using AI to fix a robot before it even breaks. And eventually, this all just gets bundled into subscription models, where the machine and the service are all one package.
So all of this, it leads to the single most important takeaway in this whole thing. For any business in this space, the game is about to fundamentally change. The focus is shifting away from the shiny robot itself and onto something else entirely. This right here, this is the new rule of the game. It will not matter if you have the fanciest, most advanced robot on the market if it's sitting broken in a closet somewhere. The companies that are going to win in the long run will be the ones with the best, the fastest, and the most reliable support network. Success will be defined by service, period.
But look, one company can't solve this alone. This is going to take an industry-wide plan. We're talking standardized training programs, certifications that mean something everywhere, and totally new ways to recruit talent, maybe from tech schools, or who knows, even the gaming community.
So, make no mistake, the race is on. But it's not a race to build a better robot anymore. It's a race to build a better service infrastructure. The companies that invest early in training and deploying these new technicians, they're going to be the ones who own the market.
Which really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. It's easy to go out and buy a piece of the future, a shiny new robot. But the real question is, are you actively building the human infrastructure that's required to support it? Because in the robot revolution, one of those is just a purchase, and the other is a winning strategy.